Hello, Team 2, and welcome to Tuesday, the 23rd of June. Are you ready for your learning? Are you ready to learn? Oh dear. Ha ha! Sorry, guys, little frog in my throat. You didn't need that at all, did you, to start the learning? Let's try again. Tuesday, 23rd of June. Let's go. So, I would like you to read your questions, go back to your sentences, read your sentences that are going to give you the answer, then think about your sentence stems. How is your answer going to look? Pause me now. Is the word lippity a real word? And what do you think it means? Why was Peter travelling not very fast and looking around? After a time, he began to wander about, going lippity, lippity, not very fast and looking around. Is the word lippity a real word? No, I've never heard of it. Beatrix Potter has made that up and Roald Dahl writers quite often make up their own word, but we can get an idea. What do we think it means? So I think that lippity means what? I think that lippity means, I'd say, it's kind of limping around, lip and limp, limping around, lippity. And we get the extra detail, not very fast and looking around. So he's sort of kind of like feeling sorry, isn't he? So I think lippity means slowly, solemnly, limping. Why was Peter travelling not very fast and looking around? Peter was travelling not very fast and looking around because he's afraid that Mr. McGregor is going to have followed him. I think. Read your questions, then read your extract, then think about what your sentence stems are to answer your questions in full sentences. Pause me now. Where do you think the door in the wall leads? And why can't Peter go past it? He found a door in the wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. So where do you think the door in the wall leads? There is no correct answer to this. I just want to see inside your brain. So where do you think the door in the wall leads? I think that the door in the wall leads where? Be as creative and as imaginative as you possibly can. Try and link it to the story, maybe. Don't go too crackers. Or maybe go too crackers. Who cares? There's no answer. There's no correct answer. So I think the door in the wall leads to the path where Mrs. Tiggy Winkle's house is. That's where I think it leads. Where do you think? Email it to me. Why can't Peter go past it? So he found a door in the wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. Why can't Peter go past it? Because his belly's too fat and he can't squeeze underneath. Read your questions, then read your extract, go back to your questions, think about your sentence stems, and answer your questions. Pause me now. Peter meets a mouse. Where do you think he meets her? What was she busy doing? And what type of mouse do you think she is? Why? Now, I'm not looking for she's a field mouse or a house mouse. I'm thinking about what kind of, if she was a person, what kind of person would she be? An old mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Peter meets a mouse. Where does he meet her? So Peter meets the mouse at, where do they meet? They met at a stone doorstep close to the wood. What was she busy doing? The mouse was busy carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. What type of mouse do you think that she is? So there's a few answers here. So one answer could be, what type of mouse do you think she is? I think that she is a kind mouse because she's taking peas and beans to her family in the wood, and she was running in and out over the doorstep, so she's very busy. So she's a busy mouse. She's a kind mouse taking things to her family, but she wouldn't put the pea down to tell Peter where the gate is. And so that makes me think she's not as kind as I thought at the beginning. So there's lots of different answers of what kind of mouse she is. And you can use a text to say, well, she was kind because she was not so kind because, and she's busy because. So any or all I'd be happy with.
Hello again. Counting in fractions today.
So question 1, Danny colours part of this shape. So how many parts is the shape split into? How much of the shape is coloured? So 1A, what fraction of the shape has Danny coloured? How many parts out of the whole has he coloured? B, colour another small square. What fraction of the shape has been coloured now? So you need to draw out that shape into your book and you need to colour in another small square. So one's already been done. You're going to colour a second. So how many out of the total have you coloured in? Write it as a fraction. And then colour one more square. What fraction of the shape is coloured now? So pause me now to do that. You can see when one part of the 4 is coloured in, it's 1 out of 4, 1/4. When an extra one's coloured in, that's 2 out of the 4, that's 2/4. And when you've coloured a third one in, that's 3 out of the 4, that's 3/4. What fraction of each shape is shaded? So you don't need to draw the shaded shapes, you just need to write the fraction. So how many parts is it split into? How many coloured in? So I want you to say the fractions out loud, probably not to your partner, but to me. Pretend that you're talking to me right now. Okay, write them into your book also. So you've got 1 out of 3, 1/3 that's coloured in on the first, 2 out of the 3, 2/3 that are coloured in on the second, and the 3 out of the 3, 3/3 or 1/2 that's coloured in on the third. Juan is colouring squares to make a sequence. What fraction of each diagram is coloured? Count the fractions out loud and continue the sequence. So you don't need to write the blocks and the fractions. You don't need to do the blocks. You do need to write the fractions. So 1 out of 4, 1/4 coloured in. 2 out of 4, which is 2/4. What else could we call 2/4? How much of that shape is coloured in? 2/4 is the same as a half, yeah. And then we've got how many out of the 4 coloured in on the third one? How many out of the 4 coloured in on the fourth one? Ooh, and then you've got 1/2 one that's coloured in on the fifth one, and then your fraction. So pause me now to write out your fractions. So they haven't done it. So you could have had, so there's 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4, and then there's 5 out of 4. I would have put 1/2 and 1 more quarter. But that's okay. Either or. Aisha is counting pieces of fruit. How many strawberries are there altogether? So count your strawberries. Oh, and have a look at that last one. How would you write that? Children in class would like a whole apple. How many whole apples can be made from these quarters? So how many quarters make a whole? How many pieces would you be splitting your apple into if I asked you to split it into quarters? So how many of those are you going to have to put back together? Okay, so pause me now to figure those out. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4.5 strawberries. And if you put each apple piece together with 3 others, so each apple is a 4, isn't it? Because there are 4 quarters that make a whole. You can make 4 apples out of those quarters. Number 2, a tasty clue. So I want you to pause me in a moment and I want you to read your tasty clue number 2, please. Pause me now. Inside Mr. McGregor's shed, you'll find a clue about the carrot thief, about what the carrot thief eats, or meat or vegetables. Okay, look at the singular nouns below. Decide which letters are needed to turn them into plural nouns. Okay, so a plural noun is more than one. And write the plural nouns in the correct boxes. The box with the most words in will show you what the carrot thief eats. Okay. So, if to make your singular noun a plural noun and you just add an S, then that's a plant eater. If you need to add an ES, then that's meat. And if it's IES, it's plants and meat. So have a look at jelly. To make jelly into jellies, would you add just an S? Would you add an ES? or would you add IES? So I want you to pause me now and think about what your answers are going to be. So the spelling pattern with the most matching words is this. So is it S, ES, or IES? So that carrot thief must eat plants for S, meat for ES, plants and meats for IES. What did you get? What did you get most of? Let's have a So you can see carrots, apples, and grapes just need an S. Peaches and potatoes need an ES. And jellies and cherries need an IES. So the spelling pattern with the most matching words is the S, so the carrot thief must eat plants. So if we look at our options, we've got our animals. We now know that our animals eat plants. So we have to get rid of anybody that eats plants and meat or meat. Now we go down, the McGregors are there. Well, they're already not an option, are they? So Benjamin eats plants. I'm going to give him a little tick. Yes. Cottontail eats plants. Tick. Flopsy eats plants. So it still could be Flopsy. It still could be Mopsy also because she eats plants. Can't be the McGregors because we already got rid of them. It could be Mrs. Rabbit. Oh, Mrs. Rabbit. It could be Old Mouse. No. Old Mouse eats plants and meat. See you, Old Mouse, you are not the thief. Peter Rabbit eats plants, so it could be Peter. And White Cat only meat. See you, White Cat. Okay, so our options are Benjamin, Cottontail, Flopsy, Mopsy, Mrs. Rabbit, or Peter Rabbit. We've got rid of Old Mouse, who is a meat and a plant eater, and White Cat, who is a meat eater. The quest continues tomorrow. So today, we're going to be writing about the helpful sparrow. You know, when Peter Rabbit got stuck in the netting in the garden, he was just about to give up. So imagine that you are one of the sparrows who overhears Peter Rabbit's sobs. Lie down and you want to comfort him and encourage him. What might you say to Peter? Use the word bank to help you. So think about what you might say to Peter if you were the helpful sparrow. Strong, believe, tangled, escape, try, help, clever, skilled, energy, strength. Let me show you the example before you get busy. So, it might look like, don't worry, little rabbit, you'll be okay. You look like a strong little chap. You can do this. Gather all of your strength and really push yourself. You can escape. We're cheering you on and we know you can do this. You mustn't give up. So that's what it could look like. Yours could look completely different. That's just an idea. So I would like you to imagine that you are one of the sparrows who overhears Peter Rabbit's sobs. You fly down, you want to comfort him and encourage him. What might you say to Peter using that word? Hi guys, the team in Brereton are doing an incredible job of keeping the community really tight. It's inspirational. They're amazing. So the Brereton Million have put together the idea of a time capsule. And so this is something that I've taken from their Facebook page. I don't know if you want to have a little look more in detail there, but they want stories, they want poems, they want photos of the things that you've been busy doing. Anything that you do, you can bring into school and we can use in school, and you can take it to the Times capsule if you do anything electronically, which it sounds like they would like and we would like too. So it's two birds with one stone, isn't it? You can do things for them and things for us. So have a little read and get anything off that you've been busy doing. They want to see it as much as we do. One of the things that they talked about was that you could do a news report about your experience. And so here are a couple of ideas about now it doesn't need to just be on coronavirus, it can be on something that you did in the day at home. So it could be a newspaper on what you did during coronavirus, and you could do a whole topic on it, or it could be something really specific. Have you invented an amazing game that you and your brothers and sisters have played? There are no rules about this. You can create whatever you want to create. It also suggests a diary. So we've been busy writing diaries during this time. They might be personal, you might not want to use that, or you might be happy to share, but you could write a diary piece and you could think back to some of the best times and the trickiest times, the in-between times, and you could have a little reflect back and write one piece about your time during lockdown. This is just taken from the Britain Millennium webpage. So these are all the different things that they're offering. So I'm sure you're more aware of it than me, but if you haven't had a look, go and check it out. They're doing some awesome things. This is a little competition this is a little activity for pen pals. So this is the form that you can fill out on the website, and you've got lots of different options. One of them being that if you want to keep your address private, then that's your choice, and that you can give it to the Britain I keep wanting to call them the Britain Millennials, the Britain Million, and they will exchange it for you. So if it's your address that you're unsure about, then we can look around that. So that looked like a really interesting, exciting activity. You could make a new friend during this. And then we would like any of your memories, so like the Britain Million have asked for, we would like for your memories of the good, the bad, the everything in between of what you've been doing during lockdown. So if you can provide us with a photo, so when we're coming back into school we can all share these and it'll be something to talk about, because we're all going to have had really different experiences. So if you want to email photos that I can forward on into school, if you want to do a little write-up, there are no rules about this. There are no rules about how you can display what it is that you've been busy doing during lockdown, but we'd love to hear and see it, please, guys. So I've put a little here. This time has been a big medley of ups and downs. As we think about coming back to school, we'd like to create a little book of lockdown, start to gather some photographs and begin to share ideas for us to discuss further in school. Why have you picked this memory and what happened? And then we've got our connected curriculum menu for you to have a little challenge and have a little look at. So I know we've had some fabulous maps of Britain come in. So when you get into the end of that and you've explored some of the Britain millions, then you can come back to this. So hopefully that should be enough to keep you busy. If you're still looking for more, get in touch and we'll find some more things for you to be busy with.